Okay, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to use Photoshop and a couple of the brush tools and the color picker tool to outline and trace and make a hand-drawn effect from a photograph for our GIF project. So I started by opening a Photoshop, and then I opened up all of the photos that I'm going to use for my GIF that you can see up here. And I'm going to start with the first one. Using the eyedropper tool, which is right underneath the crop tool, you can use the quick key of I to select it. You're going to select the area that you want to start with first. So I'm going to actually start by doing my hand. So I'm going to click kind of like a middle color range of my hand to start with. And you can see when I click that, this box right here automatically comes up with that color that's selected. So if I click around a couple different ones, you'll see that that color changes. Now using the brush tool, we're going to start by tracing the shapes and the lines that are already there. But before we get started, we want to make sure that we're working on a new layer. So next to the trash box in your layers palette, it's a little sticky note looking icon and a new layer pop up. So you want to make sure that you're only drawing or painting on this new layer. And then using my Wacom tablet, I'm going to start drawing and kind of like figuring in like where this hand kind of goes. I'm just going to outline like the approximate shape. And you want to do it kind of messy. We want like a hand-drawn look and effect. So feel free to, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just roughing in kind of where everything is going first off. So there's my thumb. There, we want to get all the fingers. So again, if it's not perfect, that's okay, because we're going to go back over everything again and again and again. Okay, and then you can see that when I turn this eye on and off, that those things go away. So if I turn off the photo layer, I'm left with just the hand. Okay, so now I want to start working with kind of these darker tones. So then I'm going to use the eyedropper tool to click on a darker tone, go back to the paintbrush, and then start adding in some of these darker areas. Now you can start with the lightest area, you can start with the darkest area, it doesn't really matter, but start with one and then build your way up. Every layer should have at least 3 color tones. So you should have a highlight, you should have a shadow area, and then you should have like your mid-tones. So every area should have about 3 different tones. Again, we can test it, turn it on, turn it off, kind of see what's going on. Then we're going to start working on the next color. So this is also kind of similar to how we did the vector portrait. We're just kind of tracing the colors that we kind of see already. And I'm just going to slowly kind of build this up. So there's some shadow areas in there I want to get in. The other way that you can choose colors is you can double click on this box here, and then this will come up, and then you could choose the color you want. So I really like the color I had. I just wanted a couple shades darker for my shadows. So I'm going to choose a couple shades darker and then start filling in the shadow areas. So obviously this is kind of like the first stages, so it's going to need a lot of work. But the more I work on it, the more I build it up, the more it's going to look like a hand. So when I turn this off, that's kind of where I've started. So I'm going to keep working on this and check back for more later. So now I want to show you how I'm going to start working on my glasses. And you can see over here in my layers palette that every different part of me I have created a new layer for, and I've named it. And you can name your layers by just double clicking on it, typing in whatever part that you're working on, and then just hitting enter. So I'm going to be working on the glasses, and I already started a little bit. As you can see, I worked a little bit more in the hand. I started, sketching in the hair. So now I kind of got the basic outline for the glasses. And now I want to show you how you can really zoom in and then move this frame around so that you get in to see all of these little details. You can also use the 2 keys next to the P to make this brush different sizes to get in there and get all of those details. For instance, there's a highlight right here where the glass meets the frame that I really want to make sure that I get that to help make it pop. So again, you select on it, you use the brush. I want to make it nice and small, and then just go ahead and start sketching that in, and then that will really help make that frame pop. You know, when we start putting all of these layers together. The other thing that I wanted to let you know is that there are different brush types. So up here at this little arrow drop down menu, you can select the size, you can select how hard the edge is on your brush, and then there's also several different brushes that you can choose from. There are different textures, different techniques. If you want to try one of these, maybe for a background or maybe for texture for your hair or anything that you want, definitely play around with them, but make sure it's on a new layer. So if you don't like it, you can just delete the layer and you don't have to worry about going in and erasing it and anything like that. To get the new brushes, you click on this little gear icon and then this whole list pops up. You can click any of them that you want. You try out whatever you want. Try natural brush too. This menu will pop up. Just hit append, which means that instead of replacing the brushes that are already in your menu, it adds all of the new ones. So here we've added the new techniques to use. So feel free, play around, have fun. Now that I have everything done, I have all my layers, everything is saved, it's all in place, everything looks pretty good to me. Now I want to save it. So you go to File, Save As, and we're going to save this twice. So the first time we're going to save it as a Photoshop file. And I made a new folder on my desktop that I called GIF, so all of my files for my final GIF will go into it. And I named this GIF 1, so that way I know I'm organized, I don't lose anything. So Photoshop is the default, so just rename it, hit save, hit OK. Now, the second time I save it, I want to unsee the background, and I want to save it as a JPEG. And what that will do is that will make this checkerboard pattern go away, and it'll make it have a white background. So I'm leaving it the same name, saving in the same location. All I'm doing is changing the format to a JPEG, making sure that I have this checkerboard pattern in the background because I can't see the background layer. And then save. You can see the background turns white, which is exactly what I want. Save the quality to 12 maximum, and then hit OK. And then what that will allow me to do, so here's my GIF folder. So here's my GIF 1 as a Photoshop file in case I have to go back and edit it again. And then here's the JPEG that I will actually use on the tutorial to put the whole GIF